Hello my ink friends! Today's ink video for October is going to be about screen printing ink. A lot of us don't think about this as being an ink, but it is. And I'm going to do a little small tutorial on how to screen print something. So if that's something you're interested, stick around, subscribe, do all the good things, and let's get to it. Let's first talk about the inks I have. The majority of them are from Speedball. I do have a couple other bright colors. I'm not sure if they're considered inks or textile paints, so we're just going to be showing the Speedball ink today. And I have a few different colors, and Speedball makes different sizes. Got some shiny green. Let's take a look at these. So here is the green one. As you can see, it's like a runny pudding. Kind of gloppy. And now since I don't use a lot of this, all my other containers, I just have a small hole in the top to pour out of to try not to get, so it doesn't dry out as quickly. But yeah, that's what the printing ink looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is the frame. So Speedball also makes these little wooden frames that come pre-silk screened, I guess you'll call it. Like so. And I've bought a couple of these, but I also have the ability to make these myself. So I'm going to show you that too. These are kind of expensive, but the ones that I use a lot and I will never change out, I use these Speedball ones. But I'm going to show you what you can use for a homemade one. Now the little demo I'm going to do is going to be on a very small scale, and you'll see why at the end. But normally I use bigger frames. But I just got this from Michael's. It's just a normal little picture frame. This was only a couple of bucks. So I took the canvas off of it, and this is what you get. Now it's not super important that you get these out, or at least for what I do, it's not. I just make sure that they're pounded in pretty good, because this will actually be the side I use down. So I'll be putting my ink here and doing my thing. I want that flat surface down. So I'm going to be stapling on this side. So this is what you get. This is what you are going to be stretching your silk on. So this is the silk I got. I got this off of Amazon. And it also came with this neat little tool. Now if you want to change out your silk screens, in these pre-made ones, there's a little band in here. Maybe there. So there's a little band down there and it's white. And if you want to remove this, what you do is you just dig out the end and you peel it away. And then when you go to put a new silk screen in, you just lay a portion out on here. Put your little plastic band back around. And you take this, which has a groove on it, and you just shove it back down. And as you do that, it makes the tension on your silk the perfect amount and makes it nice and taut. Now for this, I'm just going to use a stapler because this isn't going to last forever. I'm just going to do a couple of things with it. So this is going to work just fine. And this is my finished product. Okay, it's nice and flat. There's no wrinkles. I got my staples in here. A tip, when you cut your silk, make sure you've got enough so you can grab it and pull. And what I do is I just pull and then staple, staple, staple. And I go to this side, do the same thing, pull, staple, staple, staple. And then I go to my sides and I do my corners. And I'm not that strong and I managed to do it. So I have faith that all of you can too. Another little tip, if you're a quilter, this might be a very fun project to make your own little quilt tags. That's what I do is I'll put, 2, or if it's a wedding present, I'll put the date and Mr. and Mrs. made by Tony Hunt. And it's like a one-time deal. I make my little silk screen. It's this very pretty tag that I can sew on the back of the quilt. Next step is our photo emulsion. Speedball makes a nice little kit. I would suggest getting it. Anyway, this is sensitive to light. hence the opaque container. I'm actually going to take it out of the light real quick. So what you do is you pour some out on your silk screen, and this I use my spatula for. And then I take off the extra, I go back on this side, do it. I keep flipping it over until I almost really have nothing on the screen itself. And it's green, so you can see it. Anyway, so this is what, when you get your photo emulsion on, it's going to be green. Once you get that on, and you want to put the photo emulsion on in a very dark room, and then you let it dry in a dark room, and it usually takes about 24 hours to dry. I will do so now, and I'll see you in the next step. The next step would be to print whatever it is you want to screen print on clear sheets, like I have done here. I do 3 and put them together. Now sometimes it's a little difficult to line your image up perfectly, but you can make it happen. And then I went ahead and cut it out to fit in my little frame. So my frame now is all dry with our photo emulsion. So we're going to use this for now, just so you can see what I'm doing. So since I'm going to be screen printing, we'll pretend this is my silk screen. This is how I'm going to be printing. Make sure that if you have words, you want it to be correct. So we're going to place that right in here. I'm going to then tape it down exactly where I want it. And I will be doing this in a pretty dark room, because now that our photo emulsion is set up, it's really sensitive to light. That's how it cures. That's how this transfers onto it. So we're going to pretend this is it. And then I would tape this down exactly where I want it. And then I'm going to place it on this dark background, like so. I'm going to cover it up with a piece of cloth, towel, blanket, whatever. Just make sure sunlight does not go through it. I'm going to go outside, and then we're going to expose this to the natural sunlight. And it depends on what time of year and where you're at. In Kansas City, this is probably only going to take about 45 seconds to do its thing. So I'll go outside, put my timer on 45 seconds, release it into the sun. As soon as my 45 seconds is over, I'm going to cover it all back up, run inside, and then I'm going to soak it in water for a few minutes. And then I'll show you what the next step will be. So now we've exposed it out in the sunlight. I had it in a dark room soaking for 3 or 4 minutes. Now it's time to spray it out. I'm going to try to catch it. You can see the part that was not exposed to the sun, and it should rinse out of the silk screen. Sometimes it takes a little doing to get that done, but I'm going to need 2 hands for this job, and I will see you in a bit. Right, I sprayed my screen out, and I'm left with my imprint. Now, as you can see, there's some little spots here created from the tape. So I'm going to actually take tape and cover up these little bits that you can see through, because we're not going to want ink to go through those holes. All right, so I tape the edges. I also tape up the sides so ink can't ooze in between here. And it just peels off. When I clean off my screen, I just peel the tape off too. So this is what we're left with, and we are ready to screen print. Here is my little screen printing board. This is just a wooden panel, and I've got some packaging foam on here, because you don't want a hard surface. You want a surface that gives a little bit to swipe across, and I don't do big pieces, so this works just fine. Okay, so we're going to do a test piece first. Now, I have learned this the hard way, that I actually spray some spray adhesive down, so when you do your swipe and you lift up the screen, your fabric doesn't come with the screen and half fall off. So this is a little thing that I do, and it seems to work just fine. Okay, air that off a little bit. Now, if I'm doing a whole bunch of pieces, like if I'm doing my crystal grids and I'm doing 20 of them at once, I'll have to respray this after about 5 or 6. So just kind of let it dry a little bit till it's nice and tacky like that. Okay, and I'm going to do white on my black shirt, and we don't need an excessive amount of ink here. Okay, I'm going to use this little bench scraper thing to actually swipe. So I went ahead and I already put my ink across the whole thing, so we're going to go just like that. I'm going to go back the other way real quick. Ta-da. And then we will lift up. Okay, looks pretty good, I think. Let's do another testy test. Go down here this time. So well, thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you're enjoying my month of ink. If you would like to see me showcase another medium for a full month, please let me know down below what you might be interested in. I might do it for November or December. And don't forget to subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!